guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Lacia75, the Black Unicorn, and I'm coming to you from Accra, Ghana, where I live and do business. So I find it interesting though, trying to quote people how much it's going to cost you to build. You know, it's easier to quote people and say, okay, you need a fence wall. Let's just start with the fence wall. How big is the plot that you have? Like, what's your plot size and how many plots do you have? Do you want to fence in your entire property, or do you want to fence in one plot? You know, how do you want to do it? How high do you want that fence wall to be, right? And so you can get a nice size quote on that. But let me tell you, fence walls have been so off the chain depending on where people are, because I'd be in discussions about this with other folks in one of the WhatsApp groups, and it's like, it could be, Accra is just outrageous. You can have one plot, 100 by 80 plot, okay? And Accra, that fence wall can run you between, I'm sorry, I'm laughing because it's just shocking to me. It can run you between like 18,000 to 50,000 Ghana cedis just for the wall alone. Same plot size, 100 by 80, in a region outside of Accra, and you're paying half that. You know, it could run you anywhere between 8,000 to 20,000 to build a fence wall, depending. Never is it going to run you that much. But, you know, when you get outside of Accra, that particular wall can be 4,000, 5,000, something like that to build the entire wall. But it also is going to depend how low or how high that wall is, right? Remember, I'm giving you estimates based on my own knowledge of building here in Ghana, working with clients here in Ghana, and just talking to other people who are building as well, going through the same process, and just, you know, chatting it up, because at everyone needs to talk to somebody, right? So this is how vastly different it's been just to build that fence wall. And for those of you who don't know what a fence wall is, a fence wall is, think about it like a gate, like the gate around your house, or the fence around your house. Typically in the US, the fence will be like wooden fences. You'll have like wooden fences around the yard to make it look aesthetically pleasing. You know, sometimes they might have wire fences, sometimes there's no fencing at all. Here, everything is basically cement block bricks that go around the wall, and that what's inside of it is called your compound, right? So that's your property. And so this wall goes around the entire section of the property. Every so often, some people might try to skim on that and be like, okay, my neighbor just built their wall, so I'm going to use part of their wall so that I only have to build 3 sections of my wall instead of building all 4 sections of the wall, because, you know, your property will likely be almost like a square, so you have 4 different walls to build, right? I mean, of course, it doesn't always have to be that way. Everything is subjective here, guys, everything. So I know you're probably like, oh my God, I thought she was going to tell us the exact amount of how much it is to build. Look, it is so hard to say how much it is to build here in Ghana. If you have an architect that can provide you with a home that is more of a traditional Ghanaian style, it's going to be cheaper to build. If you have a home that's more American, Eurocentric style, it's going to be a little bit more to build. For others who are building on land that is yours and you are allowed to do whatever you want on there, then your build may take a little bit longer and a little bit more money, because you are building something that's your dream, your passion, and not being given to you in this cookie cutter format. And remember, when you do cookie cutter format, the materials here, let me be very clear. The materials here can be subpar as all heck to high quality, amazing, very well structured material. It spans so far, and that quality of the materials you use is going to affect how much your build is. So for me, I have a hard time telling people, like me and my partner have a very hard time giving people quotes hypothetical quotes without knowing the actual details of what it is you're trying to build and how you're trying to build it, because we work with our architect to do that. And then when you work with the architect, you understand what materials need to be, how it has to be tweaked. Then you go back and you talk with the other folks that are part of our team. Then we learn and understand how much it's going to cost you to realistically build that house. And at the same time, you always got to add like a 20% cushion minimum of however much you plan to build with. But here in Ghana, you definitely can build a home for $100,000. You can build a home for less than $100,000, but it's probably going to be much smaller, right? Keep in mind, when you're building a home, you're not just talking about building the foundation, building it to the lintel stage. You're talking also about being able to tile it. You're talking about being able to have the electricity. You're talking about being able to have the proper plumbing all connected and have the toilets, the actual showers, you know, being able to have the water system, being able to have the electricity connected. There's so many different variables here that you wouldn't even be thinking about in the West. Being able to have a soak away so it can catch all the poo and all that other stuff, right? You would not think about this in the West because that's not a concern. There's sewage systems, right? And not only that, everything is already set up for you. Literally, you just go pick out the building that you want and they build it for you based on the designs that they have. You know, there's very, very little modification. So hopefully you found this a little bit helpful. Hopefully you are able to understand why it's so complicated to give people exact amounts on housing, and the fact that housing costs is going to vary depending on the type of materials you're using, the type of home you're building, the size of the home you're building, the plot that it sits on, and just so many other variables that are in place to decide that will determine how much you will wind up spending on building your home in Ghana. When it comes to building your home though, how big is your home? Like, let's ask some serious questions. How big is your home that you're building? How many stories is the home that you're building? What type of materials are you using for that home? And what time of the year are you building your home? Remember this, we can budget to build a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, rent-style home for $100,000 from start to finish. You can budget that, yes. However, when you're budgeting that, are you taking into the fact inflation, the cost of materials going up steadily? Are you taking into the fact the type of materials that you want inside of your home? So we're talking about those interior designs like the tiles and the light fixtures and things like that to make your home very pretty. Will you be acquiring those things here in Ghana from local vendors, or will you be acquiring those things abroad and then having them shipped? How much time will that take? And then for the local vendors here, will they have in stock the quantity that you need in order to continue your build, right? And if they have to order it, will it cost more for them to order it and have it shipped here? You know, all these various factors all tie into how much it's going to cost you. You know, and people can give you estimates. People can tell you how much their 6-bedroom house costs or how much their 3-bedroom, 2-bath home costs. All these will vary based on the part of the country that you are in. Let's be very clear about that. The part of the country that you are in will also determine the cost of how much it's going to cost you to build your home. So you could budget to build your house, not having anything elaborate, not having a bunch of bells and whistles, not having a garage or a pool or anything like that. You can budget to build a house, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home for $150,000, rent style, all one level. And you budget for that $150,000. This is not the budget you have for the land. This is the budget you have for the entire build, from the foundation all the way up to the finishing complete, is ready to move in. Everything is painted pretty. All the things are put in, light fixtures, toilets, sinks. Toilets and sinks, also an expense. All these things, right, are put in, and you're just budgeting for a maximum of $150,000. That's fine. It's also very reasonable to do that when you're doing a smaller size home. Like if you're interested in what we do at Black Unicorn Properties, just visit the website. It's in the description, theblackunicorn.org. Please remember to go over to my IG page and follow me there at Lesia75. Like, subscribe, and share. Thanks, guys.